Let's go back a bit to your childhood. You grew up in a home filled with love,
Absolutely.
but when you were 13, your mom and dad divorced.
Yes. Sometimes love hurts.
The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Ladies and gentlemen, here he is, Will Smith.
Once upon a time, Will Smith wasn't just a celebrity. He was the definition of superstardom, a Grammy-winning rapper, the face of the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and Hollywood's ultimate blockbuster machine. But today, instead of being remembered as a man who saved Earth from aliens in Independence Day, or the emotional powerhouse in Pursuit of Happiness, his legacy feels trapped under scandal, memes, and questions of whether the legend is already finished. How does a man go from being the most loved actor on the planet to becoming one of the most criticized? This, my friends, is a never-ending downfall of Will Smith. Before we dive into Will Smith's shocking downfall, make sure you smash that subscribe button right now. Because what you're about to hear is something Hollywood never wanted you to know. The rise. In the 1990s, Will wasn't just a star, he was a cultural movement. The Fresh Prince wasn't just a TV show, it was a global phenomenon. Kids copied his style, families laughed with him, and Hollywood saw a bankable young man who could sell stories to every demographic. The transition to movies was seamless. Bad Boys, Men in Black, Enemy of the State. Every release cemented him as the golden boy of Hollywood. By the early 2000s, Will Smith had become the Mr. July of cinema. His films guaranteed box office success. From fighting zombies in I Am Legend, to inspiring fathers in the Pursuit of Happiness, to even silly but profitable projects like Hancock, everything he touched turned to gold. He was charismatic, safe, family-friendly, and aspirational. People even joked about wanting a love like Will and Jada, immortalized in rap lyrics. Back then, nobody could imagine just how badly that line would age. The first crack. The fall didn't begin with one punch. It began with whispers, memes, and awkward interviews. During the pandemic in 2020, Will's carefully polished image faced its first public fracture. His wife, Jada Pinkett Smith, openly admitted to having an entanglement with August Alsina, a young friend of her son.
I guess about 4.5 years ago.
Yeah.
I think it was about 4 years ago. Started a friendship with August. And we actually became really, really good friends. And then I got into an entanglement with August. That's what I said.
An entanglement?
Yes.
She was a man humiliated by circumstances he didn't deserve. Public compassion kept him afloat, and at that stage, people pointed their anger at Jada, not Will. The slap that changed everything. Fast forward to March 27th, 2022, the Academy Awards. Will Smith was nominated for Best Actor. This should have been his crowning achievement, the peak of a 3-decade career. Instead, it became the night that defined his downfall. When comedian Chris Rock made a joke about Jada's shaved head, Will shocked the world. He walked onto the stage and slapped Rock in front of millions.
Out here. Uh-oh, Richard. Oh, wow.
The theater went silent. Viewers at home debated whether it was scripted. Seconds later, Will shouted the now infamous line, "Keep my wife's name out of your bleep mouth." That moment spread like wildfire. Memes, debates, late-night jokes. It became the cultural moment of 2022. Then came the irony. Minutes later, Will won the Oscar for Best Actor. Instead of enjoying his achievement, he delivered a tearful, chaotic speech that left audiences confused and uncomfortable. This was the turning point. Sympathy evaporated. The Academy banned him for 10 years. Hollywood, always image-conscious, hesitated to cast him in big-budget projects. And suddenly, Will Smith was no longer seen as an untouchable star, but as a volatile, unpredictable figure. The aftermath. Since the slap, his career has spiraled. While some fans offended him, others turned away. His films received less hype, and his public apologies, especially one directed at Chris Rock months later, felt hollow to many.
Chris, I apologize to you. My behavior was unacceptable, and I'm here whenever you're ready to talk.
No, I would say
Audiences weren't convinced. The damage was done. So we'll try something else. He leaned back into music, attempting to reignite the energy that made him famous decades ago. He even went on a world tour, posting videos of packed arenas, hype crowds, and smiling fans. For a moment, it looked like he was rebuilding his empire. But then, controversy struck again. The AI deception. Fans noticed something strange. Some of Will's concert footage didn't look quite right. Crowds seemed too perfect. Signs in the audience had odd messages like, "Help me survive cancer," or distorted text that only AI could generate. Soon, people realized he had posted clips where fake AI-generated fans were mixed with real ones. Why would one of the most famous men alive need to fake crowd hype? It opened the door to doubt. If this was AI-enhanced, what else was? Did he need illusions to make his comeback seem bigger than it really was? Ironically, Will had already been associated with AI in pop culture. Robot warned about machines taking over, and yet here he was using AI to maintain relevance. Even worse, AI technology has been used in disturbing ways. Fake interviews with victims of tragedies, digital resurrections of dead musicians, and manipulated video tributes. The line between real and fake is blurred. And Will Smith became a prime example of how dangerous that blur can be. The never-ending downfall. At this point, Will Smith's downfall isn't about one incident. It's a sequence. The humiliations, the slap, the bans, the awkward apologies, the AI controversy. One after another. Each misstep chips away at the man who once represented Hollywood's brightest light. And the saddest part? He still has the talent. He still has the charisma. But in the court of public opinion, the shine has faded. Instead of celebrating his career, people now question his choices, laugh at his missteps, and doubt his authenticity. Closing thoughts. So here's the real question. Is Will Smith's story a tragic fall from grace? Or is it just a messy evolution of a human being who grew up in front of the entire world? Can he rebuild? Or has he permanently lost the magic that once made him untouchable? Tell me what you think in the comments below. And listen carefully. If you made it this far, that means you're invested. You don't just want quick gossip. You want the truth behind Hollywood's greatest rises and falls. That's exactly what I do here. So don't just scroll away. Hit that subscribe button right now, because the next story might just shock you even more than this one. Trust me, you do not want to miss it. Outro. This was the never-ending downfall of Will Smith. Thanks for watching. Thanks for engaging, and welcome to the community that uncovers Hollywood's biggest secrets. Subscribe now, because legends rise and fall, but the truth always remains.